Hello again, everybody. I'm Chris. I'm all set to count down this week's 40 most played country records in the USA as they're compiled by MediaBase 24/7 for the week ending June 13th, 2026. Before I get started counting down this week's biggest hits, let's take a look back at last week's top three. Number 3 was Change My Mind by Riley Green. Number 2 was Be Her by Ella Langley. And the number 1 song last week was Turn This Truck Around by Jordan Davis. Now, where will Jordan be at this week? Well, let's begin our run to number 1. Here's the first of the 40 biggest hits, the latest by Jackson Dane, holding at number 40, called Make a Liar. Debuting at number 39 with the first of 2 debuts this week is Riley Green with his tribute to Toby Keith. It's called Think As You Drunk. Up a notch this week to number 38, here's Kevin Powers with Shabuzi and Move On. And here's the week's highest debut, coming in at number 37, it's Parker McCollum with Killin' Me. With 2 debuts, we say goodbye to 2 droppers falling out this week, Brunette and Me and a Beer. On with the countdown, here's Ashley McBride, up 2 spots to number 36 with What If We Don't. Up 2 to number 35, Russell Dickerson with Worth Your While. Up 2 spots to number 34, Hudson Westbrook with Painted You Pretty. Up a notch to number 33 in his 13th week on the chart, Stephen Wilson Jr. with Gary. Holding at number 32 this week, Shane Prophet with Long Live Country. And holding steady at number 31, Blake Shelton with Let Him In Anyway. In his 9th week in the countdown, he's up 5 notches to number 30, Chase Matthew with Holding It Down. At number 29, up a notch, here's Kelsey Hart with Fireworks. Up 1 to number 28 is Alexandra Kay with Straight for the Heart. And here's this week's fastest climbing hit, up 6 notches to number 27, Stella Lefty with Boston. At number 26, up 2 spots, Graylin James with Water at a Wedding. Up 2 to number 25, Dustin Lynch with Easy to Love. At number 24, up 2 spots, Dan and Shay with Say So. Up 2 spots to number 23, Lauren Elena and Chase Matthew with All My Exes. At number 22, moving up 2, Zach John King with Get the Drinkin'. At number 21, up 2 spots, John Party and Boots Off. In his 19th week in the countdown, he's up a notch to number 20, Zach Top with South of Sanity. Holding steady at number 19, here's Low Cash with Wrong Hearts. At number 18, up 4 notches, Kenny Chesney with Carry On. At number 17, up 3 spots, Luke Bryan with Country and She Knows It. Up a couple to number 16, Hardy and Friends with MacArthur. Up 2 to number 15, John Morgan and Kid Myself. At number 14, up 2 spots, George Burns and Luke Bryan with Ride, Ride, Ride. And riding up 1 to number 13 in his Chevy Silverado is Bailey Zimmerman. Up 3 spots to number 12 in his 5th week on the chart, it's Luke Combs with Be By You. And the 11th ranked country hit this week is Kane Brown, up 2 spots with Woman. All right, with the first of the 10 biggest hits, here's Corey Kent and Co Wetzel stepping up 1 to number 10 with Rocky Mountain Low. At number 9, up 3 spots this week, here's Ella Langley and Morgan Wallen, and I Can't Love You Anymore. Rebounding 2 spots to number 8 with his former number 1 hit, it's Luke Combs with Sleepless in a Hotel Room. Inching up 1 to number 7, her 26th week on the chart, Megan Moroney and Beautiful Things. Here's last week's number 1 down to number 6, Jordan Davis with Turn This Truck Around. At number 5, up 2 spots, here's Morgan Wallen and Don't We. In at number 4, up a notch, here's Jason Aldean and Don't Tell on Me. In at number 3, up a notch, Josh Rouse and Hate How You Look. The number 2 song for the 3rd consecutive week belongs to Ella Langley and Be Her. And the number 1 song in country music this week, taking 21 weeks to get here, and this becomes his 7th number 1 country hit. It's Riley Green with Change My Mind. Now is our countdown of the 40 most played country records in the USA. Join me again next week. Once again, we'll count them down and we'll find out who's got the number 1 song in country music. Thanks for listening.